I'm Dave Mulvena. I'm here with Dan Schultz to my left, Mike Godwin to my right. We're going to be recapping Week 5's games in the B Division. How are we doing today, guys?
Awesome.
Great.
Great? I'm doing okay.
Just okay.
Just okay.
So I'm doing better than
faculty busily.
Faculty loss, Prestige Worldwide loss.
Got a bunch of losers up here today.
Yeah.
Well,
that's us. No, that's fair. Let's leave it at that.
Well, let's start off with a winner. Fireballers versus Wait For It.
Is this the upset of the season?
To
this point.
To this point.
I mean, Fireballers winning the game.
Yes, that's an upset alone.
After, more importantly, J.P. Hurley, I saw him in warm-ups, he looked determined.
Channeled his inner Tyre Hudson.
Well, I mean, he did it in different ways. He did it from behind the three-point line mostly. But J.P. looked like he was on a mission. He said, there's no way my Fireballers, not mine, J.P.'s Fireballers now,
Okay.
are going to lose this game.
31 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 foul, and 2 turnovers. That's a solid game.
Player of the week in the B division. But it wasn't even how many points, it was how he did it. He made big shot after big shot.
So he had 31 of their 49 points.
Yes. Now wait for it. You know I hate beating up on John Radowski.
No, you don't.
I hate beating up on him. But
No, you don't.
John, and I normally wouldn't, but he said some, Dan, do you lose a game and then go and try to talk trash to somebody else that lost? Do you do that?
No.
Well, John decided he wanted to do it this week. So John, 4 for 16, 1 for 4 from the three-point line.
He put on the board, when you were asking about MVPs, he put himself in there, shamelessly.
Do I have to, from now on when I post that kind of stuff, I'm like, please only post people, that aren't yourself?
And after he posted, I saw him at the bar.
I
don't know how.
Maybe he did it while at the bar. That would make sense.
That would make a lot of sense.
He must have been out really late last night.
Yeah.
Or not last night. What was that? Saturday night.
Probably every night.
Well, yeah, 4 of 16 shooting. He's taking 4 3-pointers, which is never going to end well. And, yeah, I mean, Mark Perkins for them had a very good game, 18 points, but it was the J.P. Hurley show. That's all it comes down to. Without that game, it's a close game leaning towards a win for Wait For It, but because J.P. put in a Herculean effort, I mean, they get the win.
Hey, win's a win.
A win is a win. And they're basically going to need him to do that because, I mean, we've seen Team Battlefield with Tyre. They've been successful with one guy doing that. So,
But let's give a lot of credit here to Fireballers defense. Holding John Radowski 4 for 16. Holding Chris Bain, who was one of their best players, if not their best player, for 2 for 11 shooting. And these players don't usually shoot like that. You have to credit Fireballers.
holding Chris Rower to 1 shot and having him commit 1 foul. I think that's a turning point in this game, too.
Didn't I tell you Chris would probably be the reason that they lost? Do you remember I predicted this? Chris didn't get the technical. I think it's because he knew that it was expected he was going to get one.
Yeah.
So, but we can blame Chris for this loss.
Yeah.
All because of what he did to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Karma. That's what happens when you mess with good
Wait
people.
For It just didn't shoot well.
Yeah, 14 to 50 is 7.
Malik was 0 for 8. South is 1 for 6. Mark Perkins 7 for 11 is pretty good.
Now, let me touch on Rudy Enriquez real quick. If you look at that stat line, you're going to think, was Rudy even at this game? But his 1 steal was probably the biggest steal of the game. Wait For It. I think Wait For It had the ball. They took a shot, they missed. It came out for a long rebound. They controlled it. Rudy was able to intercept the pass, pretty much sealed it.
And that's not even in the stat sheet.
No.
That's just in the stat sheet is 1 steal. Not the biggest steal
Not
of the
the
year.
biggest, yeah, I mean, put an asterisk next to that steal. Because it was a monstrous steal. It was a capital letter 1.
I guess you got to give him some kind of credit somewhere.
J.P. Hurley show.
Yeah.
Nothing like
Welcome to it.
He could have came on the show this week. I should have sent out the
Put up a
invite.
game like that.
JP, next week, if you're around, we'll let you know what time. Come on. You can talk about that one night it happened. I'd like to hear about it. What was going through JP's head? Next up, Hot Shots B versus Doc's Old Guy All-Stars. Dan.
Dave.
Mike.
Do you know how to hit the did not play button?
I don't think I did this game.
Oh, come on.
I wouldn't make a mistake like this. There's zeros all over this statue.
Well, we know who didn't play and who did.
Well,
We'll go back in and adjust that, make it all right. Now,
Dan, back to you.
Mike, over to you. Dave, you're after Mike. Actually, I'll go first, and Mike, then Dave. Doc's Old Guy All-Stars. Let's start out talking about them. Listen,
be respectful.
when I mentioned that they might want to look into nursing homes, I was being somewhat sarcastic. Now, I don't think it's that out of the question. I think they could look into maybe there's a nursing home league like in the state of Delaware where you can go to different nursing homes and play different teams and stuff like that. Because I think they would be an exceptionally good team if they did that. But they're really showing their age out there. I have a lot of concerns about them. On the flip side, Hot Shots B, I mean, Dorian Temple with 25 points, Mike Jones with 12 points. You know,
That's about it.
That's about it. But Hot Shots, I watched this game and they really controlled this game. So, Doc's Old Guy. I tell you what, Gavin Bethel needs to see the ball more. 4 of 9, 12 points, 12 rebounds. Why did 4 people shoot more shots than him when he was by far the most efficient
He's a
player?
big boy down there.
Yeah.
Look, I have to question Kayla Miller in this game. Not a single assist.
How dare you?
Not one assist,
How
though.
dare you? She took 2 charges. One that was called a charge when it was a blocking foul, and one that was called a blocking foul when it was clearly a charge. So you got to give her a lot of
So
credit.
she got
for
credited
taking
for
charge.
one.
She got credit for 1 charge.
So there was 1 charge.
Yes. So
She
that
was
by the
top of the B division
Lawrence
in
Hines
assist
by the Lawrence Hines standard of stats,
She
that
should
is
get a steal.
That is a steal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, you got to have your point guard at least dish out 1 assist.
She was averaging 4 a game, wasn't she? 3, 4 a game.
But I guess in order to get assists, you have to have some players on your team hit shots.
Doc.
Now listen, Doc's Old Guys All-Stars, all they need is that 1 game to get over the hump. 1 game. Until then, I mean, hopefully it comes before next season. Because I don't know what to say anymore. Me talking them up is not helping. So do I just need to destroy them on this video?
Can I ask you this?
Did Doc foul out?
Doc fouled out of this game. Is he still your B Division MVP?
He still has a shot of winning the playoffs MVP. All right, and I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on him because right now everyone in the league has a shot of winning playoffs MVP because playoffs haven't started yet. Well, almost everyone in the league. But I don't know. I don't know what to say about Doc's Old Guys All-Stars other than I am disappointed in them.
Here's one thing: 4 of 28 from 3-point range.
I saw that
What
very.
have I told you about Tatnall's rims when you're
Don't
shooting
start.
3-point shots?
Dan,
Doc himself looked over at me and says, "I detest these rims. I detest them."
Well, you know what? I don't think anyone would even talk about these rims if you didn't talk about them so much.
Of 7.
You just gave him a bailout. But you
It's not
complaining
bailout.
about these rims for like 12 years of your life now.
And that's weird because I've only worked here for 2 years.
12 years of your life how you've been complaining about these rims. Now all of a sudden when people have a bad shooting game, it's not their fault. It's all of a sudden something else. It's like if you were complaining about the basketballs, they probably would have complained about the basketballs. Dan, you're a
Yeah, what
trendsetter.
else is wrong over there, Dan? Well, let's see if we can get it fixed.
I like that. You have that
Go,
power.
let's just build a new gym for you.
Could you?
We'll let you
Well,
pick
you were
out the
talking.
rims.
Hey, you were talking about building Mark London, the basketball court in his backyard. So I think you
That's
should.
just so he can get there.
I
on
thought we
time.
could just name that court Dan Schultz Arena.
Yeah. You pick out the rims. You want the Fisher Price ones?
Yeah, I grew up on those, and I'm the shooter I am today because of them, for better or worse.
Well,
So,
Don't touch that.
Doc's Old Guys All-Stars. Extreme disappointment. Hot Shots B, They moved to 3-1 on the season. Are they considered an elite team in the B division now? Are they up there
No.
with the elites? And
I would probably have them at 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Not
I don't
looking
see
at
it.
anything.
I don't see it.
I don't think they're better than
Wild Style,
Style,
J Squad.
Elite
Faculty.
in the mix. I'm just gonna ignore what he just said, but yeah.
Alright, next up, we have Wild Style versus Team Battlefield. This was a fast-paced game. Both teams.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say both teams play similar style basketball, where most of their offense goes through 1 or 2 guys. Go ahead.
Well, in Team Battlefield, it's
So
not
Wild Style used the third guy this week.
That's true.
As their top guy.
And you're being nice because Team Battlefield has 1 guy. That's it. And Tyre had an off shooting game. I mean, he had 27 points, but yeah, Damian Ware had an off game, and Brian Avant and Craig Schweitzer stepped up, combined for 41 points, and that was huge. I mean, if Craig can be that third fiddle, that third or fourth fiddle, because Martin Mincy has had some good games for him too, that makes Wild Style an even better team, and they're already a really good team.
Craig said to me after the game, he said, Dave, well, I came up to him, I was like, I didn't know you had that kind of outside game. He goes, yeah, he goes, in the past, you know, I didn't really shoot many threes because of, you know, the team I was on or whatever. I guess the teams he was on in the past, he was more just inside presence. He's like, just sick and tired of you guys all and then talking about how much Damian Ware scores. So I wanted to give myself something.
It's about time. I'm proud of you. It's about time. Good. Now I can't go back to the same old excuse.
Well, it seemed like they held Damian Ware pretty much in check. Only 6 points.
Did
But
Tyre and Damian guard each other?
I think so. Pretty sure they did. I know I saw Damian guarding Tyre for a good portion of the game.
So, in a sense, they both played pretty good D. I know
Yeah.
Tyre had 27 points, but
Well, Ty, yeah.
No,
other
26
one's
shots.
Yeah.
9 for 26 shooting. So they both played good D. That's what Brian Vaughn said on the board. Damian Ware plays both sides of the ball.
Well, I mean,
Maybe it's true.
That he does. Well, this game it looks like he only played on the defensive side.
I gotta see. You know what? Wild Style.
They won.
Wild Style is not complete until I see Mike Vaught get at least 1 or 2 shots out there.
You know, Mike Vault was a no-show.
He's always talking on the boards.
I want to know why he's planning ski trips on the weekend.
I know.
Take off work during the week. Don't plan on you have a basketball game to be at.
Work is overrated. You don't need it to survive in this world. It's fine. Just take off a couple days. Go skiing. Yeah. This is more important than your working life. And you know why I'm saying that? It's probably because you're watching this at work right now. So.
He put his win streak in jeopardy.
By not coming this week.
Yeah, I mean, is Wild Style, are they the best team in the league right now in the B division?
No, I saw J Squad better.
Even the way they've been performing?
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just
No
asking
one
the
is
question.
You're gonna ask him this question every week.
Yes.
To get everyone all fired up.
J Squad is still
Gets
yeah.
everyone
And then
all
I'll say
fired up.
and then I'll say J Squad. No, J Squad is still the best because they made the finals last year, and no one has beaten them since.
But you
And
did
I'll
say-
say once again,
and then you said,
only
oh, they're
one
almost
team has
second.
ever
Oh, they
beaten
finished-
Wild Style in this league.
Oh,
Only one
that's what you
team.
just say. I thought you were gonna go. Oh well, you know what J Squad do? They're really good at finishing second every year, and then I'm gonna be like, oh man, I was on that team. That really makes me angry.
This
But,
is
yeah.
why I don't need to participate in this conversation anymore, because you got it down.
But you did say the power rankings are how the teams are doing now.
That's true. But J Squad hasn't lost yet.
In the league,
It is Wild Style.
That's irrelevant. That's not important. J
and the
Squad is
league
number
hasn't
one.
lost. The top scoring team.
Yeah.
I feel like you should adjust your power rankings and make 3 number 1s.
Well, like a 1A, a 1B, and a 1C.
Make
It
everybody
would be
happy.
your 1A.
My 1A be
J
J Squad because A comes before B, and then 1B, which is also number 2, would be Wild Style, and number 3 or 1C would be in the mix because I still think they're.
Still above elite.
Did you see them
man.
dominate Delaware this week in the mix? If they played elite, I think in the mix would still win.
I hope.
I think that
I
happens
hope
this week,
Troy
doesn't
did
it?
too.
Does it happen this
Doesn't
week?
happen this week.
It happens this week, but
You know what? It's gonna end a lot of these arguments.
I hope Troy and Antonio do not watch.
With In the Mix wins, I want you guys
said it
to
again,
stop
Elite.
crying
He
about
said it again.
When In the Mix wins this game, I want you guys to stop
From what
crying.
I saw, the Mix had some trouble with
Delaware
Delaware
start
at
off.
first.
And then
in
they
the
came
first
back
half.
and dominated.
Next up,
That's all I have to say about that.
we have Old School versus Elite. A very short-handed Old School. 4 guys. I mean, Old School only has 1 win on the season to a very much improving Fireballers. But, you know, Elite have a full roster there. And Troy Madison goes off for 18
It's
points.
5-on-4. Come on. Slow down.
On
Slow
the
down.
Tatnall 1 rims.
Because they were wide open threes. With
He's still only 2 for
contests.
7.
Yeah, he was only 2 for 7.
Dan, I thought you do a sports science whenever you get a minute.
I'd love to.
Just go through and check all the games and just do the shooting percentage on Tatnall 1.
I would love to do that.
He'll really do it because then
I
he'll
know
want us
he
to
will.
get
I
new
know.
rims.
I think I won't even do like my case with Tatnall 1 is not so much that if you're inside you can make a shot. But if you're anywhere from 3-point range,
What did
you
Tatnall
don't
1
do
ever
that.
do to you?
It made me perform the way I did this year.
But you were also here and shot 1 for 11.
That's true, but that's not important.
That's because he had already adjusted
You
to
just have it
Tatnall
out
1's
for
range.
Exactly.
He had
Doc,
adjusted to
Doc,
Tatnall 1's
Exactly.
range.
Doc did the same thing. He shot bad over there, came here, shot bad. Maybe it's not the rims. Maybe it's the shooters.
Oh boy.
I can't wait to see Mike's stat line under fact.
I mean, it's not very good.
Elite continues.
They were all trying to get their stats.
Oh, you're gonna call him out for that?
Oh, they all were. They were all trying to get their stats. No. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. They should. They all want to make the All-Star game. But good for Old School for still staying positive throughout their good sports after the game. I really like their team. I'm rooting for them. Just not when they play my team in a couple weeks. But yeah, they need guys to show
That's
up.
when we'll get win number 2.
All right, well, I'm done with what I'm going to say. I was on a roll.
We haven't
but-
even done their game yet. We're already taking shots at them.
Yeah. All right, is that it?
Next up, in the mix versus Delaware.
Oh, we already kind of covered this game.
We did just talk about it.
Yeah.
Moses Demby, 19 points. Daquan Peterson, 19 points.
Moses Denby, 7 steals.
That is impressive.
It had to be the turning point.
Daquan also 12 rebounds. We look at Delaware. Joe Walsh, 14 points. Not much help anywhere else. And where was Bill?
Hey, what's
No
up?
show for Bill.
We know he's a difference maker.
Told you it's every other game.
Well, Ben Register, who looks exactly like Nick Collison, had 8 points and 12 rebounds, so he did his best Bill impression. Ultimately, it wasn't enough. And yeah, it's really in the mix. Eventually caught on that. No offense to Delaware, that Joe Walsh was the only player that had the capacity to put up 15, 20 points. So they really just locked down on him. And he still played pretty well, 14 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, but too many turnovers, 15 turnovers for Delaware, and they were leading at halftime, but in the mix, finally caught on as to what their game plan was, and they blew them out in the second half. So,
But in the mix right now, you have that number 3.
I have a number 3.
They play Elite this week.
They do.
Probably game of the week in the B division. I haven't looked at all the games yet,
Definitely.
but it has to be. It has to be out there.
Unless
Unless,
Jay
unless
Squad-
Wildstyle and J Squad are
They
playing.
do
each other.
play.
Well,
We
we
might
get
have to
that
take them both. I think they're both here too.
Man, maybe we put it up and let the fans vote which one should be videotaped.
Let's do that again.
See which one out of those 2 games.
Because our page got a ton of activity when we did that.
Let's check it out. So, well, I just like giving back to the fans. Give them what they want. I'll put it up today. Today's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe you are right about those rims. 5 for 34 and 6 for 21.
That's why I want to know. I want to break down from the whole
But
season.
we need proof.
When you do math,
I need-
that
I need
adds up.
I need
to
percentages.
11 of 55.
Do you think
from
teams should
three.
adjust and stop shooting threes in that court?
I mean, it's tough because it's like you still want to shoot. Like for me, I took. It says I thought I only took 4 threes, but I took 5 I took them, they were wide open shots. I didn't really have the angle to drive, you know, and I was like, screw it, I'm a shooter, I need to get my confidence. Yeah, I got it, I shot it.
I was more saying pass it back.
No, I can't do that. I don't know what that word
I want to repeat what you just said. I had the ball. I didn't really have an angle to drive. I had to shoot it.
Okay, well, that criticism is going to get analyzed in our next game when we check out who was the leader in assists for his team next game. But let's finish up. Are we done talking about Delaware next? Can we move on?
Yeah, we can move on. We're on to Hog Mob, who finally, I knew it was coming.
They're a deceptive 0-14, 1-14.
I knew it was coming. We knew they had some wins left in them. Hog Mob
Left in them.
with their first win of the season.
Yeah, they went
I
well.
called this one, remember? Very loudly, I said, go home.
Mike is probably one of the biggest Hog Mob fans, probably around the whole league.
I'm
He
definitely a
likes-
Hog Mob fan.
He is almost as blind a follower of Don Robinson as he is of LeBron James. Anything the guy does, he's there.
Speaking of Don, 18 points,
Yeah.
3 assists, 2
4 of
steals.
8 from 3.
He was. Don't you start with that. He had a very good game. No one had. We had 2 guys in double figures for Prestige Worldwide, but our support. I mean, we 24 turnovers, about 10 phantom travel calls, where if you moved your foot like an inch, it was a travel.
Hey,
But
Sure, that was
a
the difference.
It was a front. I kid
Don't you
not.
take away from Hog Mob.
I'm not.
Don't
I'm not.
you take
I'm
away
not.
anything
But
from
I
Hog Mob
talked
after
to a
this
couple
win.
Hog Mob guys, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
you guys were camping in the lane, walking without
Apparently they weren't
dribbling.
at all. We got like 4 3-second. Nah, I'm not gonna get into that. That's not the reason why we lost. But man, 24 turnovers. That really killed us. That was pretty much the big difference.
Dan, if I told you 1 out of every 12 times you could do something, would you still want to keep doing it? 1 out of every 12 times. I mean, unless it's like the lottery, yeah, you play those odds. But what if it doesn't mean as much?
I took it inside a couple
It only
times.
means
Hey,
three.
I'm not
I
saying
got-
you did.
I got
I'm
that.
saying
Free
the
throw
team.
line.
The
You
team.
missed 2 of
I
that.
missed 2 of them because of the
No.
start. I'm not gonna start. I'm not gonna do it. Just not gonna say it. Doesn't matter. Kurt had a good game for us. 7 turnovers, which was unfortunate, but 12 points, 8 rebounds. Drew Bukowski had 10 points, 3 rebounds. But our supporting cast has to step up. We got to score more. Just have to play better overall. And still 24 turnovers. That's unacceptable. That's really, really bad.
Dan, I think I see a career high here. 3 assists.
I
What?
think that's probably a career high. Probably.
You can actually check your career highs on the website. Right after this video, I'm going to go down and check. I want to see if 3 assists, first Hog Mob on whatever Sunday's date was.
This is my worst.
2/16.
I don't even want to look at my player page right now. This is the worst basketball I've played in my life this year.
It's okay.
But that's nothing.
A lot of
that's nothing to do
teams,
with
some individuals are struggling this season, but they will overcome, and I believe you will too, Dan. But I'm happy for Hog Mob. They need this win. I have a feeling they're not going to look back at this point, and they're just going to keep on winning.
3 of 13.
Last season.
Foul line. Prestige.
All right, here we are talking about Hog Mob, and you got to keep coming back to Prestige. I cannot wait to talk about the faculty game. Let me tell you that. Gosh. Yes,
But-
Hog Mob played well. Prestige Worldwide played very poorly.
But you know America's on our side, no matter what we say. That's all there is to it, Dan. Now, what were you saying about Hog Mob?
I got up this morning and I was like, should I go in?
Oh no!
What's the point of life? What is my purpose on here? Why am I coming?
Dan, as always, you are here to deliver the news.
The show
That
wouldn't
sounds
be
like a
what it
Ron
is
Burgundy
without you,
quote.
Dan.
Hey, again, you got to give me credit here. I was 0 of 5 from 3, but I was 2 of 2 from inside. I am 4 of 4 from inside the perimeter over the last 2 games.
See, I like that. Dan Schultz, the positive basketball player. That's the one I want to see every week.
So instead of taking 5 of those shots behind that line,
Hey, can we get to the faculty game?
I was trying to give Hogmob a little bit more love.
I was too. Let's do it.
Kyle Lepore, 13 points.
Tom Robinson, 18 points.
See what he did there?
But I think Hogmob will not look back. I have a feeling last season they started off real hot and, you know, lost a few late in the season and then didn't perform as I know they would have liked in the playoffs. But this season, I think they got off to a rough start.
Just back.
But yeah, I think they're back. And they're ready to make a deep playoff run.
They are back. Hog Mob is back.
Next up, the game that Dan has been waiting to talk about since Sunday night after his loss, the Faculty versus J Squad.
Now, Dave, if I told you you were going to go 1 of 3 at something, would you keep doing it?
1 of 3? I don't think that's that bad.
Yeah.
33%.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
No, well, 1 of 12. It's a lot worse.
0 of 5, Dan.
1 of 3, still, you know what?
Where are we at here? 1 of 3?
3 of 9 overall.
Oh my God, it was 1 of 3 from 3-point line.
I mean, he's Mr. 33%. We can call him that from now on, which, you know, it's not good of a percentage. But that's what I'm going to call him, is 33% at a 33% game. John Rodriguez he channeled his Mr. 33%. He had a 33% shooting game from the field, 14 rebounds. And, yeah, Jeff Lawson tried to lead the charge, but just didn't give enough help. And J Squad was able to pull this out.
Now, John Rodriguez is playing on, I don't even want to say it's a foot and a half. His right foot is really limiting his mobility. He can still get in there and rebound. But the John Rodriguez I know and remember playing against when healthy is unstoppable. The John you're getting now, it's still one of the best players in the B division, but he's limited with what he can do because of that foot. So, you know, the Faculty has some decisions to make. What do we have to do to get John healthy, ready for playoffs? Because everyone makes the playoffs. But you don't want to go into the playoffs having to play one of the top 3 teams.
Just go to CVS down here or Walgreens, just buy him a new foot and then just give it to him.
We've tried that, but John's feet, you know, they can't be replaced. They can't be.
Okay.
But let's give some credit to J Squad here. I don't know if you guys remember, but going into this game, I said if we shut down Ted Dwyer, we win this game. We couldn't do it. I was talking Ted. I was trying to do anything I could to get in his head during the game, but I just, you know, you can't get in Ted's head. You can't do it.
16 points, 8 rebounds, 3. He might be having his best season yet.
I think so. And you know what? I screwed him over the first game or two when I did stats. It was maybe the second game when he was 1 point shy of that 20-point game. His first ever hack 20-point.
He's still looking for that.
And he's still trying to get it.
First 20-point
Still
game.
trying to get it. But, you know, DJ, come on over here.
Oh, man.
No, come on over for a minute. We can pull procedural watch out.
I don't think so.
We just talked about the game. You don't want to hear it. That's not good.
Good.
The amount of shots this guy took.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
Mike?
Yeah.
At us?
Just remember this. When we play the Faculty, you remember this name. You remember this face.
Alright.
Okay?
Alright.
Because you're probably
Week
going to be
7,
guarding.
next week, right?
Huh?
Next week, right?
Is it next week? Do we play you guys next week?
Well, we have all-stars in
We
between.
have all-stars.
Oh, yeah.
Or Doc's own guy all-stars.
Oh, okay.
At Title 1, not at the High Power 1.
I love Title 1. I love it so much.
That's his excuse for everything. Title
But both teams are playing on it, so.
Yeah, we already said enough about our team. We don't really, I mean...
We
Well, no,
can
why
keep
DJ?
No,
Why
no, no.
DJ? You don't even have to come in. If a team shoots 1 for 12 from anywhere, do you think it's a good idea to avoid that?
To abandon that?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
If you personally shoot 0 for 5 from somewhere, you abandon it? At what point do you abandon it?
My 2 co-hosts they've just been going at it this whole
Oh
time.
my goodness.
I'm trying to sit here and stay neutral, but the banter back and forth.
I just want to know what's your number that you abandoned it? Was it 6?
let's get back to the faculty versus J Squad. Ted Dwyer, we already talked about, dominating performance. Lance Johnson, 19 points. John Moore, 12 points, who was killing us from the three-point line.
And no Martin Hollinshead this week.
Yes.
And they still beat the faculty. Oh my gosh. You should feel so
Do you know
embarrassed.
why
right
they
now.
won?
You should feel so
Do you know why
embarrassed.
they won?
Oh my gosh. They didn't even have Martin and they won by 13.
Oh
my gosh. Oh,
All right, I'm
faculty.
going to read out a stat line here. 0 for 3, 2 rebounds,
Andrew Healy. No
1
show.
steal.
You know what? In his mind, he was snowboarding again. That's it.
I didn't realize he was at this game. I thought Andrew was actually snowboarding this weekend
Andrew.
as well as last.
Sundays are game day. We play basketball on Sunday
I
nights.
said, wasn't he still at Skyline Grill when this game took place from the night before?
We do play basketball on Sundays.
I don't think that's what he's playing.
Usually at 4:30.
One more game like this, he's going to be standing on the sideline the whole time holding his lacrosse stick.
I have to ask,
Practicing his cradles.
is Shane Salvin a real person, or is he just a
Don't
made-up
worry about
character?
that.
Listen,
Do
we
not
were
worry about
missing all of our sides. Shane Soudan,
Again?
the 6'9",
The fifth game he's missed
the
this year.
6 foot. Yeah, but when Shane shows up, when he shows
We
up,
will welcome him with open arms.
Uh,
Dan.
Shane kind of reminds me of that picture that you put
No, I
on
hope he
Facebook.
comes for the Prestige
That
Worldwide.
But I'm like, this is Shane right here.
Oh, really? The invisible?
Don Potts, no show. Apparently, as I've called him in the
Was he-
past, the glass man.
Was he coming into the building and he
He was
tripped
hurt.
and he stubbed his toe and he had to go back home? He got hurt.
Probably.
He was coming in. He's like, "Yes, I'm ready to play. I got hurt last week, but I'm
I
ready."
think,
Oh
I think he
God.
told me on Friday or Saturday that he's still sore from the week before.
Okay.
So, and then JD, who we knew wasn't going to make it. So we already knew we were playing without much size. They did have Dan Glazier, who's a big guy. You know,
9 points.
it hurt. Well, no, the effect that he had on us driving to the basket just was his length, without us having another big guy in there.
J Squad's #1 team in the B division right now.
J Squad played a very good game. I think they are the best all-around team as far as their top five, their starting five,
You're
and then
saying
the
that
players
with a
they have
negative
coming off the bench.
connotation attached to it.
Yep.
No, I think they play the most like a team out of any other team in the B division, and I think that's why they win these games.
Okay.
They
There's
been
nothing
tested
negative
yet?
about that. They kind of remind me of the San Antonio Spurs.
Have they been tested yet this season?
Is that a bad thing?
No.
Why do you make those faces
Because
when I said nothing negative about
Who
San
would win?
Antonio
You open
Spurs?
the door wide open to your, they finished second all the time.
Okay.
Spurs,
I wasn't going to go there, Dan. I wasn't going to go there.
Just like the Spurs, they finished
I wasn't
second.
gonna
Who would
Yeah.
win if they played an exhibition game? J Squad or the Spurs?
Where did you get this guy? Where did you get him from? Why
Well, I was
is
more comparing. They have on their team. Their Tim Duncan would be Ted Dwyer, obviously.
Obviously.
Or Tony Parker?
Tony Parker. Let's go with
Lance.
Lance. Tiago Splitter. Let's go with
Careful.
Tell me he didn't say
Careful.
Let's go with Dan
Splitter.
Glazier. Tiago Splitter. Let's go with Dan Glazier.
Okay. It's a
All
good
right.
team.
Who's man?
Yeah.
Who's the sixth man?
Is Ginobili getting hurt all the time? I guess
Ty
it's
Booker.
Martin. No, I guess it's Martin since he didn't show up this game.
Oh.
Martin can be bothered.
So you could see where the comparison makes sense.
Absolutely, I can.
I wasn't going anywhere off of
Absolutely,
finishing
you
number
were
2.
not. No, oh no, you wouldn't do that.
Well, that's a
not
good
good at
comparison too. They both finished number 2 last season. He's mad.
Nah, Dan
We didn't set the
doesn't.
over-under this week.
Hey, look at that, we're
Again.
done. Look at that. We just
forgot
recapped
to
all the
set
games.
the
No, we
over-under
just recapped
again
all the
this
games.
week.
We're done. We recapped them all. We're good. We're done.
All right. So
We still
that'll
got previews.
finish it. Finish it up for our B Division recaps this week. Thanks for checking us out. Dan, anything from you? Mike?
Nothing for me.
All right. See everyone on Sunday.